Today I'm going to show you why it's always important to check your work after you install anything and do anything. You put it in, you fix something, always want to check it out. Let me show you something. So we're putting some drip in, some flower beds here, and we're actually going to put fabric down, and we're going to put decomposed granite in this flower bed area. But you always want to check this stuff out. We put this drip in, and we just really put it where it is on the plants, and so that's another way that you can do it. But after you install and do anything, you want to turn it on, you want to check it, make sure it's doing what you want to do. And when it comes to drip, you might see that, oh, what we did isn't good enough, and you can add an area. But the other reason why you always want to check your work is because of this. I turned this on because I wanted to check it before we cover this drip up, because we like to put the drip under the fabric. We'll do a video on that here coming up. But we put the drip down, we put fabric down, and then we put decomposed granite. You can see these guys are working on that right now. So I wanted to check this before we covered up, and this is one of the reasons why I stress this. So I can hear something running extra. And you see that little pinhole right there? I don't know why this got a pinhole in it. For whatever reason, this is leaking. Well, you can tell it's already running right there. Had we covered this up and not checked it, this would have been a leak, would have been a problem, and it might have been a little while before we noticed it. So I'm gonna cut that piece out and put a new piece in and fix that before we cover this stuff up with decomposed granite. But this is why you always want to check your work. If you're doing a repair, before you cover it up, turn it on, check everything that you did, make sure it works. Because it's a lot easier to fix it now than to try to come back and fix this later. In this case, it's a lot easier to do it now. But if you're doing any kind of other kind of work, any repair, like I said, always check your work before you leave, before you cover it up, before you do anything else. It's gonna save you time and money in the long run, and really it's gonna ensure that what you did is gonna work and what you did is good. Now, I didn't have a chance to show how to fix that leak and what I did because the landscapers were breathing down my neck trying to go ahead and put their fabric and decomposed granite in. So I came over here to the trailer because I wanted to show you what I found, but also kind of show you what I did to fix that particular leak in the drip. Now, I don't know if you can see, but there's a little bit of a hole, like a scrape and a hole, so something punctured this piece of drip. I don't know how it did that or what did that, but I'm not concerned about that. I just want to fix it. So what I did is I took my cutters. I just used regular pipe cutters to cut this drip, and I cut it out. And so I cut that piece out, and I did the same thing on this other side. I just cut this small little section out of this drip. And then what I did, I just cut another new piece, and this one actually has a drip emitter in it. It's almost the same length, but I cut it pretty close to the same length, and when I got over there, then I trimmed it down to fit in this exact same spot. And so essentially how this works, we're just gonna have to pretend, but this was the piece that was in the ground, and so now I've got my new piece, and so I'm gonna end up using a coupler and putting these together. Now, a drip coupler is just a simple fitting, and it's just gonna couple two pieces together. And so these are pretty hard to get in, but I just put it in one side. And usually when I do couplers, I get it started, and then I come with the other piece, and it helps push it all back together. So then you can grab both ends, and you want it all the way in. You can see right here, just a little bit is showing there. And this is just the middle piece. But those barbed areas are pushed all the way in. This is how far you want to go in on a coupler when you're putting two pieces together. So then I had this piece is the piece I cut out. So I did the same thing. Put this coupler in, and then this would have been the other piece that's going on to the next plant. And you work them both together. You kind of work it back and forth, pushing it. These particular fittings are not made to twist or thread any kind of way. And in fact, if you twist this while you're going on, it actually kind of widens it out and ruins this piece to where it makes it easier for this to blow apart. And so you just want to work it back and forth. You can see. So there and there. And that's exactly what I did. I did it out there. I just couldn't show you because they were wanting to go ahead and work right behind me. and I'm barely staying in front of them. And so that's how I fixed that little leak right there. Kelly Staggs here, American Irrigator, trying to make you a better irrigator. From a licensed irrigator to a licensed irrigator, and homeowners alike. Consider subscribing, that way you don't miss any tips.